I haven't done one of these in a while, but I'm hiking again, so the juices are flowing. So I had to preach a little bit about video games. Man, video games were such an awesome part of my life. When I was growing up, I remember being 8 years old and just waiting for my babysitter to come so I could play the new Super Sunshine Mario game. It just felt amazing. Animal Crossing, Maple Story, those games hit the spot. Whenever I played those games, I was so happy and really enjoying myself, right? But now that I'm older, this is my take on video games. So there's a quality to them that is very much like a drug. It lets you avoid the circumstances of your life, and it lets you pop out of your world. Let's say, you have abusive parents when you're growing up, or you're not appreciated at school, or you're not getting good grades, or you don't have many friends. That's tough to be with. You don't know how to handle that as a little kid, especially if your parents didn't teach you how to share about your problems, share about the things you're dealing with. So as a kid, you have two options. One is you can be with yourself and try to fix those problems and be completely lost and, not know really what to do and be sad that you're lonely or be, whatever. Or you can just completely pop out of your life. All of your problems, they can just go away, and you can play this video game that not only you don't have to deal with any of your real life issues, your grades, your friends, any of that, your chores. All of that goes away. And on top of that, not only that, it feels amazing. It feels so good. It's so fun. It's so energizing. It just feels great, right? So as a little kid, those are your two options. One is to feel not good, or second is to feel good. And when you don't know the consequences of that, you're obviously going to pick the feeling good route, because why wouldn't you? Unless you were taught otherwise and you knew better. But when we're growing up, we just want to do that. We want to eat the Cheetos. We want the ice cream. We want to buy the toy. We want everything. And it takes maturity to say no. It takes maturity to, from yourself, do the healthier thing. Of course, there's extremes. I work at a boba shop right now, so I see parents on both sides. Parents that don't let their kids enjoy things at all. Parents that have extremely spoiled kids. Their kids are out of control. They're pulling them in every direction, and that doesn't look healthy. And then there's also parents that are overly strict with their kids, and that's not healthy. The kids obviously just want their sugar, and they never get that opportunity, The kids want their boba, and they never get the full enjoyment, the full satisfaction of just letting go and being a kid. There's always a restriction there, which is equally not good. So this is not me saying that video games are bad. This is me as a child that came from the direction of overindulgence. Now, back to the topic, video games. They are a drug. We don't know this yet, right? The video games are new. They let you pop out of your life. They let you avoid your life. And instead of getting through the hardship, growing, learning, and gaining skills so that you're more capable in real life and you get more enjoyment through life and through the things you're very avoiding, through doing them, you start to learn to love them. That's life. But then there's an easy way out. Instead of having to go through the hard thing and having that same amount of fun, joy, alongside your life genuinely being better, so there's less you have to avoid in general, you can just pop into a video game and access a very high level of enjoyment. Now the problem is, just like a drug, it's an induced state. When you're doing it, it feels great. When you're off of it, all you want is to get back in. Why do people get addicted? Because their life on the drug is great compared to their life off the drug is miserable. If your life was already great, it felt great doing whatever you're doing, it felt great facing the challenges of the world, you felt great about yourself, and then you picked up a video game and you had some fun, you wouldn't have a problem dropping it down and not being addicted to it, because you wouldn't, that source of fun and enjoyment and good feeling wouldn't only come from that game. So what happens to someone like me and many, many kids in our generation that grow up alongside video games, Instagram, satisfying videos, all of these things? When we're sensitive to them, just like any new drug, we have a very low tolerance. Meaning, we just need a little hit to get high. And high we get. And then the danger is we hit again, we hit again, we hit again, we hit again, until we don't get high anymore. And all we want is another hit to chase that high, but it never comes. That's an addict. If you can't put down your phone, or if you go to your phone or to your computer or even to books, anything can be used during difficult situations where you collapse, hard emotions, times where you don't feel good about yourself or in your body or living life or having to do what you have to do, whether it's, fitness, cooking, your dishes, finances, friends, whatever you really need to do in your life to have a whole, complete, happy life that you can genuinely feel proud of and you feel great about. Instead of doing all those things, you can also run to your addiction. This is the danger of video games. My whole time growing up, everyone's saying, oh, these are new things, we don't know about them. People are saying, yeah, it's similar to gambling. That's what the Food and Drug Administration labeled them as. When you're in it, you don't feel understood, right? When you play video games, there is a lot of depth. You do things in them. It's not like you don't do anything, right? And I think there's a gap from the researchers to the video game players, and then even the video game players, the ones that are in the addiction versus the ones that have been in it and have gone out of it. In order for me to really listen to someone and for me to really resonate, I felt like they would have to understand me in the video game thing. I used to be a World of Warcraft raid leader playing 16 hours a day for months, and I got a lot of fulfillment and enjoyment. I led a team of 20 people. I learned leadership there that helps me now in my job. We did hard things. I was number 4 monk in the US, Even sharing these achievements or accomplishments, like there's an empty feeling about them when I share them now, but they really meant a lot to me back then, right? Now that I have my life a lot more together from recovering from that, those achievements and accomplishments, they're very, 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 very easy compared to living real life and having real life accomplishments that aren't in a manufactured fake box with fake rewards. Real life, you can't play around with it. There are no hacks. There's no cheating. You get what you're given. But with video games, it's a fake world. It's as if someone said, hey, you can become a billionaire, but instead of using the real life parameters of like evolution and, really the fact that everyone's here, it's just raw. Someone said, no, we're going to make being a billionaire, you actually have to jump on one foot and wiggle your fingers the best. And that's actually the new parameters for being a billionaire. Just some arbitrary parameters, which in video games, it's, killing the raid boss, pressing certain buttons in a certain, which it does take skill, right? It takes skill to wiggle your fingers and stand on one foot the longest. But being a billionaire is a lot more than that. Video games let you feel like a billionaire with fake rules, not the real rules of life. So you don't get the real feeling of being a billionaire. It's all a charade, right? And it's a very convincing one. And when you're in it, when you do well in a video game, it feels good, but it's fake. It doesn't have the same texture as real life. And you know it if you're in a video game. Like, you know how long that lasts. You know how much better you feel about yourself after that. If you have... Look, you can believe in yourself and love yourself, and that's the best way for self-validation. But getting real accomplishments and achievements do genuinely boost your self-esteem, and they do genuinely help you find something new about yourself. Like, more about yourself when, for instance, I have, in the last year and a half, I saved a failing business, doubled its profit, and made it successful. I know something about myself now from that whole experience, right? It's different than getting cutting edge on, Jaina in World of Warcraft, right? It's different than playing League of Legends and getting diamond. Like, there's just a different quality about it. And now that I walked the walk and I did the journey, I know how many more challenges and how much more difficult it was to do in real life than an arbitrary video game goal. In video games, you can turn it off whenever you want. It's so, you're not in it. When I used to play video games, there's this one streamer I used to watch. His name is LS, and he would always coach these pros and tell them what they could do better in League. And one time I was watching his stream, and he was saying, I'm really good at games. I'm really good at figuring out systems. So I want to apply that to the stock market. I'd be really good at the stock market. The problem is the stock market is real. And when there's real consequences on the line, you have to face real emotion. It's not just... League of Legends is a contained game. You play a game, you can put it down. Sure, there's tilt, there's rage, there's all of this stuff. I'm not saying there aren't emotions in that. But putting money into something has a very different feeling than playing a game you subconsciously know will end and will have zero impact on your life in 20 to 40 minutes. And your subconscious knows that. Your subconscious knows if I invest 20K and lose 20K, that might have been 4 months, 6 months, 8 months of working that I just threw away. Tons of time and hard work and effort and suffering. If you suffer when you work, I'm not saying you should, but there's an element to you have to sacrifice something. Real sacrifice. And that's a very different skill set. It's like someone that's never talked to a girl that brags about how good they are with women versus someone that actually has a girlfriend or, has success with women. You can be in your head about all of the great things you can do. But when it comes push to shove, there's a billion different elements to it that you didn't realize. So why am I sharing this? Because this is one of the delusions that an addict can have, that I had when I played video games, I always thought of myself as someone that could do a lot in my life. And that's true, right? But the act of actually doing it has humbled me so much. You have to fail time and time and time again and get comfortable with failing in real life. And then you realize failing is not really a big deal. Like, it's part of learning and it's actually kind of fun. Like, I actually like failing. It's fun to fail because I learn more, right? But the journey to get comfortable with failing in real life is difficult. And that's only something you know if you've walked it. I mean, the reason why I used to be caught up in video games is because I was scared of failing and wouldn't want to admit it to myself, right? That was one of them. There's many reasons. Growing up is tough. Being addicted to something is easy. You just get high. you know? And then after you use it for a long time, you stop even feeling high. You just get away from your misery, but it's not really getting away. If you're really an addict, you're miserable when you play. When I was playing 16 hours a day, I was so fucking miserable. I couldn't stand it. But I was still trying to get away, still trying to run and hide from my life. Eventually got so damn miserable that I was able to make the decision to quit with a lot of grace. With a lot of grace. I was very lucky in the way it happened. So all of this comes back around to saying video games have an element like drugs. And video game players won't like to hear that. There's all these defenses, but if you look at any addict of any drug, there's a lot of defensiveness in any drug. Oh, I just use drinking socially. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it doesn't interfere with my life. These are patterns and behaviors of an addict. I remember when I was 8 years old, I lied to my parents in order to play that Super Mario Sunshine game. I was already developing addict patterns back then. What do addicts do? They lie, they steal, they cheat, all to get their drug. That was me, learning. I was a fast learner. 8 years old, already hustling to get my fix of playing my favorite game. And boy, was it fun. Was it worth it? Fuck yeah. The 8-year-old me would say that. But now that I'm older, I realize I would have had a more challenging childhood, but it could have been as fulfilling, if not more, and as enjoyable, if not more, through tackling on challenges and tackling on, life instead of playing video games. I quit coffee too. I used to be addicted to coffee. And you know what it made me realize? There's professional addicts. I went into a weed shop just yesterday. I don't know why. Haven't smoked in a long time, and I was never addicted to weed, thank God. But people get really addicted to weed. So I looked at the weed they sell now. Holy shit, there's crystals on crystals on crystals. The weed now is 1,000 times better than it was 10 years ago. You can just see it by all the THC crystals on there. Druggies are really good at loving their drug. When I was addicted to coffee, I wanted to run a cafe. I was so passionate about it. There was so much energy and passion and love and this and that all towards coffee because it was my drug. And I wanted to perfect it. I wanted to get just the right hit, just the right fix. And I wanted to share that with my other fellow addicts. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Again, that's the addict speaking. Now that I'm not addicted to coffee, I don't have that much of a love for it. I used to have a love for it. And it felt good to love and be passionate about something. But it's given me room to be passionate about other things. I'm still processing that one. But the point is what I used to want to create video games. I have some really good ideas for video games. I can probably make a really good video game because I'm a really good addict. And I got a lot of enjoyment out of my addiction. So I know what other addicts enjoy because I know what I enjoy. But I couldn't get over my own laziness in the addiction to create something, right? That's the real world. So actual video game developers do things in the real life, but I see that separation a lot of the times where devs aren't addicts anymore because they actually have to do something real and hard. So they lose that passion for the game because that passion was really just addiction. And that's the problem. Yeah, I'm not saying all video games are like that. But there's an element of this in a lot of video games. Right? I think Mario's beautiful. I think a lot of these video games, Zelda, there's a place I played these games for that I'm just blown away with how amazing they are. But without the addiction, it's very difficult for me to actually even enjoy video games because a lot of the enjoyment came from the addiction, from getting sucked in, from losing my life in it, from entering another world. I don't think this is talked about enough, because I would have killed to have this perspective when I was addicted. When I was playing World of Warcraft 14 hours a day, I knew I was miserable. I would talk about it in a very mild way. Like, hey, we got to get out of here, guys, with my fellow guildmates. Like, we all knew we were in the same hole. No one had the balls to talk about it for the most part. But once I started, like, other people start, you know? But I would have killed, like, I was rationalizing this and defending it with my whole soul. I was defending playing video games with everything I had because it was keeping me safe. If I could justify playing video games, I could just stay safe and play video games and not have to actually do anything difficult or challenging in the world. But the problem with that is you just get more and more miserable. Your life falls apart more and more, and real life hits you. If I stayed longer, maybe I would have had like fucking like really bad health problems. You know, which, I mean, if you get so miserable, you have two options. One is like you can face life. Two is you can commit suicide like Reckful did. I loved Reckful, man. I love Reckful now. So thank God I chose the other direction of actually confronting my hardship than that. And thank God I was even given that, right? Bless Reckful and bless his soul. But you have two options. One is commit suicide, which you don't get to see the beauty and the bliss of life. You don't get to learn from your mistakes. You don't get to grow. And the world really does open up to you. Just give it a little time. Overcome your addiction. It'll be a few days of agony, months of agony, or not. As soon as I quit, I got so much actually euphoria just from making that decision because I was honoring myself. So once you make that decision, you actually get instant gratification. It feels really good about yourself. But it's tough. It's difficult. I deal with a lot of challenges and underdevelopments in my life now because I was addicted. I wasn't allowed to develop properly as a human in certain areas, which now I'm making up for. Like, I'm pretty clumsy, I'm pretty messy, and I'm always working on that. I hate cooking for myself. A lot of the time, I just don't have the energy to. I'm used to just like playing video games and like ordering food or getting food made for me or something, you know? So like, yeah, I got to get through these. And yeah, if you played video games, there's shit you got to work through too, you know? But I much prefer this life than the life inside a video game. I would choose this any day over the life I had when I was playing 16 hours a day, raid leading a guild, getting world rankings, and being fucking super energized and satisfied as a monk, and playing League and making friends there, you know. Great times, but much rather prefer this life. That's not even a question. So yeah, that's the decision. If you made it this far, which if you're addicted, it would be hard to make it this far. I didn't make it easy to make it this far, but that's the decision you're faced with. You could choose right now to start facing life more. You're not like me probably, where you were playing 16 hours a day. But even if you're playing, you're going to work playing, you spend a lot of time playing, you're avoiding a ton of stuff in your life. I guarantee you. You drop it for a day, 3 days, and you just sit with yourself, you just walk, you just hike like I'm doing, you just do something else that doesn't allow yourself to get distracted. You might feel really uneasy, uncomfortable, bored, but you'll start to realize all the areas you've been neglecting in your life, and you'll have the opportunity to work on them, and you'll get instantaneous gratification if you start working on them. And you'll start to see your life going better and better. So that's the option you have. You heard it here. So now you have that option. You have the option. It's very straightforward. You just stop playing. You be with all of the uncomfortable shit and all the mental noise that might tell you, oh, you're wasting your time, go back to playing. Just know that that's your addict mind, right? Know that anything trying to get you to go back to screens or avoid is just your addict mind, so you don't have to deal with life. So just know that, so you don't have to believe or listen to those thoughts or those emotions or those feelings or, you know, whatever comes up. panic attack even. I don't know. Like, it can get intense, right? So just, you don't have to listen to any of that. And then your spirit will guide you. As woo as that sounds, that's really what happens. You'll start to realize, oh, this area of my life could use work. And it'll just come, you'll just realize it. But, or you'll start to just do stuff. You'll start to feel energized. You'll start to, oh, you know what? It actually could be nice to go for a walk or go to the gym today, or whatever you want to do. You'll start to have energy for genuine things in your life that will make your overall baseline level of happiness go up. So you'll just feel better throughout the day when you're not playing, and even when you are playing. But you'll stop needing to play because you're gonna get that good emotion, that enjoyment, that fulfillment from your life, and you won't have to run away from it. Doesn't mean, life won't have pockets of getting hard. Things happen in life, but you'll be more tenacious, resilient, able to deal with them, and even start looking forward for them, because there's learning in each one, and you'll start to learn that each time, you get gloomy or desperate or sad or any of these feelings, they always go away as long as you keep on doing the right thing and you don't run away. So that is how to solve addiction 101. Yes, if you're playing video games a lot, you are addicted. Yes, even if it's like 1 hour a day. Like, I would challenge you to quit for a week and just see what comes up, okay? And if you really, it's hard to speak to an addict because addicts don't think they're addicted. But some people genuinely aren't addicted if they just play like a little bit. I don't know that. That's not me. So, but if you know you've been pushing something aside to play video games, I would very, very highly suggest to just not even label yourself as an addict or anything, but just say, okay, as an experiment, what if I put this down for a week? How much better would my life be? Even if you just play 1 hour a day, it's very likely that your life would see an improvement if you took that time and that energy and you put it towards bettering yourself and your life. Maybe speaking to a friend, getting closer relationship to your friend, to your family, to your parents. Just something very wholesome and nourishing. So, yeah, video games, we're still figuring out their effects on youth. I think screens have been put out just like tobacco was back in the day. Like, it was just such a fast technological advancement. We didn't have time to slow down and monitor because everything just blew up like crazy. Like, we already have AI, and just like 2 decades ago, pretty much smartphones, not even 15 years ago, smartphones were created. And then now, 5 years ago, within 10 years, it went from smartphones to AI. Like, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. Smartphones were like such a huge advancement. I remember how slow computers were. So we're going at a rate that is like way, 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 way beyond our comprehension and what we can control. So the only way we're learning is through genuine youth going through it, then coming out the other side and being like, oh shit, that was actually pretty bad. That was actually pretty damaging. Instead of doing the research beforehand. So, yeah, this is to all you video game players. I promise you, if you put it aside, you will have a genuine increase in quality of life. And yeah, just give it a shot. Tell me what you think, and good luck. Peace.